Good morning. We're going to start in a few seconds another session, Dorit and I. Dorit is a very good friend of mine and started doing a few talks. And today we would like to have another one. So here it goes. We just need to set everything to work. And let's see. So, Dorit.
Here I am.
Perfect.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Hi.
How are you today?
I'm well. I'm curious about what we are going to talk about. Do you want to say first something about yourself, who you are?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Michal and I'm an acupuncturist and a therapist. And I'm excited to be here today. Of course, it's always nice and I learn a lot. But for me, it is also very confronting to talk live in front of a camera. So I can really feel my heartbeats now, and I hope to share this with you to have space for this excitement that I'm feeling now. Yeah. And would you like to?
Yeah. So so first, I just want to say you are human. You are human, and this collaboration that we started 2 weeks ago is just about that. Is about being human and knowing ourselves. So I'm happy you shared what you feel. My name is Dorit Bar. I'm a teacher of conscious sexuality and conscious intimacy. Something like around 2 years. Yeah? 2 years we know one another?
Yes, your internet connection
Maybe a
is
little
a
less.
bit not so stable.
This is what I have. So I hope you can hear me well. You just concentrate on what you want to say. Our collaboration is around healing. We are both therapists. And I want to ask you about the topic you wanted to speak today about balance. How does Japanese acupuncture and your healing approach create or help creating balance for the people that comes to you? And what is this balance?
Yeah.
What is balance really when we speak about ourselves? What is balance?
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I have been thinking a lot about balance and why do I like to use this word. And I learned that generally there are two kinds of balance or balanced states. So I draw them a little bit here on the page. So this is the first one, which I call the mountain balance. And as you can see, we have a mountain here and a ball that is standing on top of the mountain. And in this state of balance, we are balanced, but our balance is very fragile and very vulnerable. And if something happens, like we get a kick or something in life just happens and we fall down all the way, and we will have to later put a lot of effort and energy into going back to the top of the mountain, to where we again reach the feeling of balance and center. So this is the first kind of balance, and the second one is the valley balance. And this is when the ball is positioned in the lower point of the valley. And in this state, even when something happens, we get a kick or a surprise from life, we do climb a little bit on the edges of the valley, but we also return pretty easily or even without any effort to the center. And in this state, it is easier and much more efficient for us to be, But on the other hand, it's not that easy to reach this state of balance, and this is what I'm looking at and trying to reach with people that come to me. But it's a journey. And why is it a journey? Most of it because we are a complex being, and we are a combination of our physical state and mental state, and they are all together affecting each other. So, for example, if something happens and we get sad, we will also get affected in our body, in our physical state. And vice versa, of course. And because it's such a complex, even if the theory will explain very well how specific organs or specific meridians are connected to a specific feeling, eventually it's much more complicated. And I think the best way to learn it is to acknowledge it. And this is also something that you and I talk a lot about. The connection and letting space for the feeling and emotions to be there, as much as the pain and the physical feelings. So this is how it works. We also have weaknesses that we are born with. It starts with something physical that we have. We all have a tendency to feel more sick, for example, or someone that has more back pain. So we are all a very big variety of physical issues. But it's also because we have weaknesses and stuff that we are born with that are not under our control. And it's also very good to learn to see that, and where is our tendency in our body and in our mental state. So we cannot cure everything, you know, but we can learn how to reach a balance, and maybe the more strong or more stable kind of balance, the valley balance, and to slowly get there. It's not about one or two treatments to learn and to go deep inside of you, but it takes some time to see who you are and what it takes for you to really get to know yourself, and eventually be more resilient. And the way I do it in the clinic is based on maybe three things, I would say. So first of all is the acupuncture itself, which is a great way to balance the body. So I use all kind of methods with needles to balance between the different organs. And I will make sure by the pulses that it is actually balanced. So there is no one organ that is more strong and the other is more weak. So that is one. The second one is therapies that is needed sometimes when things are deeper than just something that you can affect by a needle. And of course.
You mean emotional therapy,
Sorry?
Michal? You mean emotional therapy?
Emotional therapy, which is sometimes very important because we can heal a lot with needles, but sometimes this is a deeper, trauma or something, pain that you have inside, which is mental and not physical, but is affecting your physical manifestations so much that you cannot get rid of it any other way. Or you don't want to get rid of it, but you cannot treat it any other way. And we have to learn the connection and to see it first, just to observe and see the connection, and later also heal it by therapy. And yes, we do that sometimes in the clinic during the sessions, and it's amazing. Actually, it's very, very powerful. Yeah, so that's the second one, and the third one is it's about calming the nervous system. So many times we do all kind of treatments, but the way for healing to go deeper and to root in your body for real is when we let the nervous system kind of digest it, and that we can only do when we are not in the flight, fight, or freeze mode, but when we are in the calm mode of the parasympathetic nervous system. And so this is also something very important that we do in the clinic together. Yeah.
How do you help people to calm the nervous system?
Well, basically it is
or what kind of tips can you give to our friends that watch this live to calm the nervous system? It sounds to me like acupuncture is a professional thing, and I definitely recommend people to meet you or to meet a Japanese or a Chinese acupuncture. Therapy is a great thing, but also it needs like a professional someone to lead you. And I'm thinking that for some people, going to a professional person is possible, and maybe for some people it's not. And maybe you can give us some perspective or exercise how to calm the nervous system in our daily life. And also, how do you help the people that comes to you to calm the nervous system?
So it's a great question.
I live in Israel, so I need to calm my nervous system.
I come from Israel, so I know. Yeah, I think that I will first talk about my clinic because that's like an easier answer. In the clinic, we use, first of all, acupuncture is already soothing and calming down the nervous system. I also use all kind of frequency in the music that we listen to while we're doing the treatment. And I also do kind of healing with the needles. I can really connect to my self body and the other person's body in order to make this vibrations and healing. And it usually calms the nervous system in most of the people that I see, and some of them need more stronger treatments to calm down the nervous system, but that's how it works. I have always to fit the treatment to the person that is there. But at home, of course, that's a much more. It needs much more practice to learn how to do it yourself. And I would say that whatever you practice, I can give some practices, but whatever you practice, your way is to find out the calmness in yourself. You know what leads you to a calmer state, and it can of course be different for all kind of people. I would always recommend doing breathing techniques. We can also do that during meditation, but also during yoga, during stretching at home. All these kind of practices are very good for noticing the breathing and learning how our breathing affects our body. And then you would also feel it in calming down or not calming down. You will slowly start to learn what helps you to calm down. Because there are really so many advices on how to breathe and how to do it, but it's really a practice for your own. So maybe the answer is take your time to be with yourself alone, without the phone or something like that. Sit, meditate, yoga, stretching, whatever, but just learn how this affects your body, to calm down your nervous system. That would be my advice.
Okay, when it's a good answer. When I look at the diagram of the valley balance, can you show it again? Yes. So it has a resemblance to a wave, because if you would do more than one ball, because life is many movements, I think it really reflects to us that our inner life and outer life are always in movement until we die, of course, and then maybe consciousness is in movement, but not the physical and mental body. I don't know, I never died. But and I think what you are, if I understand what you are saying, you're saying we can be stronger in our life with all the challenges, with all the waves, when we learn how to move physically, do some exercise or yoga or walk or whatever, swim, whatever we like, know how our mental and emotional movements, and heal the roots of trauma that most of us have. And I think what acupuncture is bringing, and I feel it's a very intelligent medicine, I love it, is learning more about the very subtle movements of the energy. Because I can feel my energy. I'm not an acupuncture healer. I can feel my energy because I'm an emotional healer and a sexual healer. But when I go to my acupuncturist, she's listening in a very, very, very subtle. She listens to the pulse. She feels my body in other levels. And I think this is maybe why we go to professional healers, because we can learn our waves and accept it and work with it. But when we go to someone else that have a tool like acupuncture, Japanese acupuncture, we can get a more subtle listening to our movements, and this reflection is important for deep healing and for deep balance.
I totally agree with what you're saying, and also with the movement of the waves. I think that, for years I've been learning how to tune into the very, very subtle changes in the other person's body. And of course, I do it because I also feel it on my own body. And yes, it is very delicate, but my real goal, I think, is to show other people how to feel it themselves, So I don't want them to come to me that much. I want them to learn and to see it for themselves, so that they can find their own powers to heal themselves in whatever comes. So that's the most beautiful thing I would like to give eventually.
And maybe we can give to our listeners, or just remind to whoever is listening to us, the basic tool of mindfulness. Just to sit 5 minutes per day at the beginning, and then maybe 10 minutes, but start with 5 minutes just to sit, close my eyes, just to breathe, and just to feel what is going on in my physical body and mental body and emotional body. This is the basic meditation that today got the very beautiful name mindfulness. But when I learned meditation, the word mindfulness was not there. We just learned meditation. And just listening to what is going on in me. Getting to know my
observing is a good word here. observing what is happening in the body or around me, in my mind, in my breathing, just observing. And in the beginning, a lot of judgment will come up or other thoughts, and we will wander around and come back. And the very basic idea of meditation or mindfulness, but trying to train the muscle of observing. I think that's very good for starting with.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Toda, Michal. Thank you, Michal.
Thank you, Dorit.
It was great to see you.
Have a nice.
And we will be here again in 2 weeks. We don't know yet what we will talk about, so we'll see. Thank you for being with us. You can add some comments and tell us if you enjoyed. You can write questions that can be inspirational for us for the next sessions. And have a great day.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
Okay, how do I end it?
I think it's the X that you have at the top of the screen.
Great. Bye-bye.